Imagine a world on the brink, cities burning, millions displaced, nations clashing, and economies trembling under the weight of fear. In 2026, wars are raging across continents simultaneously, drawing in the world's superpowers, reshaping borders, and changing the lives of millions forever. From the deserts of the Middle East to the cities of Ukraine, from Africa's heartlands to the shores of the Red Sea, conflict is no longer distant. It is global, relentless, and inescapable. The most intense and far-reaching conflict is the war between Iran, Israel, and the United States. In late February 2026, coordinated strikes targeted strategic locations in Iran, including the country's top leadership, triggering an unprecedented escalation. Iran retaliated with waves of missiles and drones, striking Israeli territory, U.S. bases, and allied nations throughout the Gulf region. The conflict has expanded across multiple fronts, with airstrikes, drone attacks, and ground operations creating chaos and destruction. Millions are affected, infrastructure is destroyed, and the human toll is rising every day. The war has also disrupted global energy and trade. The Strait of Hormuz, a critical passage for nearly a fifth of the world's oil, has been effectively blocked, causing fuel prices to spike and sending shockwaves through the global economy. Shipping has slowed, trade routes have been disrupted, and markets around the world are reacting to this instability. Linked to this is the 2026 Lebanon war, where Hezbollah launched attacks into northern Israel, prompting Israeli airstrikes and ground campaigns across Lebanon. Thousands have been killed, and nearly 1 million people have been forced from their homes. Entire neighborhoods have been destroyed. Hospitals are overwhelmed, and humanitarian aid is struggling to reach those in need. In Africa, the civil war in Sudan continues with devastating consequences. Rival factions clash daily, displacing millions, destroying infrastructure, and cutting off access to food, water, and healthcare. The population faces starvation, disease, and the constant threat of violence. South Sudan, which had been emerging from past civil wars, is now seeing renewed conflict in Jonglei State, where tens of thousands are fleeing, and basic services have collapsed. Meanwhile, Yemen remains a center of suffering, with government forces and Houthi rebels battling across the country. Civilians live under constant threat, struggling to survive amid destroyed cities, blocked supply routes, and a collapsed economy. Millions face hunger, illness, and displacement as the war shows no sign of ending. In Europe, Ukraine continues to endure a protracted war. Cities and infrastructure face relentless missile and drone attacks, civilians are displaced, and winters bring harsh conditions for those trapped in conflict zones. Military operations continue, and the human cost is staggering, with countless families impacted and entire communities disrupted. Even beyond these headline conflicts, smaller wars, insurgencies, and regional disputes erupt across the globe, creating additional strain on humanitarian organizations, international diplomacy, and global stability. Energy, food, and basic supplies are affected worldwide, demonstrating how interconnected these conflicts have become. Across every continent, the human toll of war is overwhelming. Millions are displaced, thousands have lost their lives, and basic services have collapsed. Cities are in ruins, hospitals are overflowing, and aid agencies struggle to meet the urgent needs of vulnerable populations. Families face hunger, disease, and constant fear, while governments attempt to manage the ripple effects on their economies and societies. These wars are not distant stories. They affect all of us. They influence fuel prices, disrupt trade and shipping, and shape international alliances and security policies. They remind us how fragile peace can be and how quickly global stability can be threatened. Understanding these conflicts, who is involved, why they started, and the consequences for the world, is critical. The events unfolding in 2026 will be remembered as one of the most turbulent periods in modern history, with impacts that will be felt for decades to come. If you want to understand each of these wars in detail and see how they are shaping the future, stay with this channel, subscribe, and join us as we explore history in the making.